Let's talk about the final project. I'm just under the week 8 module, and there's two things there right now that will support your completion of the final project. I have a description right here. The Word document is just what's listed down here. There's also an Excel file that will walk you through how to do the ratio analysis, and we'll come back and take a look at that. So first of all, choose a publicly traded company. If you have not already run that by me, please do. Remember, that's first come, first served, just so we have multiple people doing these companies, not everybody choosing one or two. So just run that by me. I will let you know if it's available, and we'll go from there. You have to choose a publicly traded company because that's how you can find the information. Those companies have to publish a lot of their financial data that we will then use to do our analysis. So then you'll prepare the analysis, a paragraph describing the company, just what is this company about, what do they do, their history, size, location, what do they sell, markets served. Also talk about the industry, what kind of industry is the company in, and how competitive is it within that industry, and how positioned is it to do well in going forward in that industry. And then do a review of the financial condition of the company by doing a ratio analysis. We'll come back and I'll show you how to do that. Also put in a chart that shows the company's stock price over the last 3 years. That could be a graph, it could just be the data, it could be here it is as of December 31, 15, 16, 17, or just kind of 3 points in time over the last 3 years. I'm not too picky with how you show that to me, and I'll show you some more information about that too. And then also, should we buy that company's stock and why? That's part of it too. Okay, so should we buy that company's stock and why? And so that's what I want you to be thinking about as you go through and do this. And the ratio analysis that I'll show you here in a bit, that's kind of an important part of the assignment also. So I've got the Excel file open. It's this one right here, the final project Excel file. There it is right there. I've already got it open. And this just shows you how to do a ratio analysis. And ratios are a way to analyze numbers in a financial statement and determine if they're good or bad. And this just gives you an example of a company called MicroDrive, just simply a made-up company. And it shows here some financial statements for MicroDrive. There's a balance sheet, assets, liabilities, and equity, then also an income statement. And then up above, it had a little bit of data, and it showed us just some more, just kind of overall information about the company, stock price, shares outstanding, tax rate, and so on. And then as we scroll down below, the data used up here in the yellow and at the top of the Excel file will then be used to compute ratios. So I'm just going to scroll down here, and you can look at this on your own obviously. And then it's going to compute for us quite a few ratios. And the ratios I want you guys to focus on are down here. So starting with about row 88 where it says liquidity ratios right here, you can see a current ratio, quick ratio. It gives you the definition CA to CL's current asset to current liability. Quick ratio is CA is current asset minus inventories divided by current liabilities. And do that for 2 years for your company. Now don't worry about industry averages, that's just for an example right here. But I want you to do that analysis and choose a representative sample of these ratios. Now I've got some asset management ratios right here, debt management ratios right here, and so on. So I want you to use those ratios, compute those for your company, and then show me just a description about what you think is going on with that company. So I would like you to use the ratios between row 88 till down here when you've got about row 127. Use about a dozen of those ratios. Okay, there's really no right or wrong amount, but I'm just going to kind of give you a benchmark of around a dozen ratios if you're choosing. You don't have to do every single one, but just kind of choose about a dozen of these and do those ratios. Show me your work, show me the numbers that go into it, show me the result, and then do a comparison of at least 2 years of your company, the most current 2 complete years that you can find, and then talk about it. Just basically say, here is what I discovered, here's what I found, the trend is good, the trend is bad, the trend is inconclusive, and just kind of describe to me what that means in your own words. Some other things that you can do is down here is do a trend analysis over several years, and it's just showing you what that would look like. They're plotting return on common equity and just plotting it over several years. If you don't have to do that, but if you want to go crazy and do something like that, you certainly can. But no matter what you put together in terms of your ratios, the numbers, a graph, however you show them to me, I'm expecting there to be commentary to explain what the ratios mean in your own words also. So I want you to draw conclusions from your analysis. This is a common size financial, just more for an FYI. Don't worry about doing one of those. Same thing with the income statement and the balance sheet here for the common size. Don't worry about doing those. They're just down here for you to take a look at if you want to. And same thing with the percent change. You don't have to worry about that one either. Just again, FYI. Okay, so it's really those ratios between rows 88 to the mid 100s. Those are the ratios I want you to take a look at. And then down here, the DuPont analysis again. For now, just kind of an FYI. Okay, but just look at this Excel file. Great examples to follow here of how to do ratios that I think you'll find important. Okay, then I've got a couple of web pages open I want us to take a look at too. So I'm going to pick on a company. I'm going to pick on Costco. Okay, so I've just got Yahoo Finance open, just finance.yahoo.com. Okay, so my go-to website when I look up a company. So Costco symbol is just simply the word cost, but you can type in the company name, it'll find it also. So we're going to look up Costco. It's going to think about it here. It's a little bit slow. One thing about this website is it's not very speedy, but I wanted to show you how you can type that in there and then get to a particular company's analysis. It's really spinning here. Tell you what, we might have to come back to that. There we go. It just took a while. Okay, so here I am then at a page for Costco, and of course you would type in whatever your company name is. You would clearly type that in, and then we'd analyze it. So it's being slow, unfortunately, and this website, as much as I like it, the one thing that drives me a little batty about it is it can be a little bit slow. And this shows you all kinds of information about Costco. And all these little screens or these little links right here are useful. So let me just tell you guys, when you pick your company, come to Yahoo Finance and just start looking around. Look at all these blue colored links right here. That will help you. That'll give you some information. Another thing that you can do, remember, is I said one of the things I asked you is give me what the price is for the last 3 years. So I can do charting. So this, it defaults to 1 day, and it would have done the last market day. So that's the last day that we're including right here. But let's just say I want to do a 5-year on Costco. So here's a 5-year chart on Costco. So I can put my cursor over certain dates, and it tells me what the price is. So in the black on the right hand side, that's the price on that date. September 1 of 17, it was 164.29. The date today that I'm recording this is 180.72, and down in the red, that's the volume of shares. So that 110.65 you see down there, that's the volume of shares that traded that particular day. So I can use this to get the 3-year data if I want to, and I can start to play around by clicking on all these things up here to get more information about Costco and learn about it. Another good place to look is to go to that company's website directly. So I just pulled up Costco.com, and depending on the company, somewhere on that web page, and I know where it is for Costco, so I'm kind of showing you that you have to scroll all the way to the bottom. Way down at the bottom, it's being slow again. Apparently my computer is tired, but we'll get there. So the very bottom, and you want to look for investor relations. Okay, sometimes it's at the top. I just know where it is for Costco automatically because I use this company as an example a lot. So investor relations, I'm going to click on that, and it's going to say to go to an external website. I'm very okay with that. And then I'm looking for their annual report. because the annual report will have the financial statements in it. So you want to find annual reports, okay? And I can find the 17 one right here. So 17 annual report. Their fiscal year end is August of every year, so August of 17 was their last fiscal year end. So I'm going to use that information. That's my last known full year-end worth of data from Costco that I'll use. So I'll get a PDF document then that will be their annual report. And again, these are really helpful to you because these are written by the company and they're filed, of course, with the SEC and given to shareholders. All kinds of information here. Okay, so data about it. One of the founders of Costco unfortunately passed away this past year, so I have a little tribute to him right here. There's a letter then from the top management of the company describing how the last year went, discussing anything that was a little unusual, discussing some new initiatives. They also will talk about the future a little bit too. They'll talk about just what they're kind of thinking of doing going forward. Here's an example of all their locations, where they're at, international and domestic. A description of the business. That was one of the questions that I asked you to do, is kind of write about, summarize the business. I would imagine everybody knows what Costco does without having to read about it though. I would guess most of you have been to a Costco at one point in your lives at this point in time. So you know a lot about it already, but I'm still scrolling down because I want you to see the financial statements. So what they're doing before we get to the financials is giving us just overall big picture information about Costco, selected data statistics that they think we would find interesting and useful as either current investors or potential investors down the road. So it's describing the company to us, all that good stuff. So we're going to scroll down here and keep going. I just want everybody to see this. So for whatever company you chose, just go to your company's main website, look for Investor Relations, and you should be able to find this. Or just go to Google and type in, I could have just typed in Costco 2017 Annual Report, and I could have got it that way too. But I want you to see that you can go right to a company's website and get to it. And you guys are choosing some really good companies at this point also, so we'll have a good diverse selection of companies to take a look at. So I'm still going here. It's being a little slow, unfortunately. Got a little bit of ways to go here. Maybe what I'll do is we'll just select the down and scroll manually. Yeah, it's not cooperating, so we'll just keep doing it. We'll do it like this. So bear with me. Again, all kinds of data about the company. You can see they're talking about cash flows, debt, contractual obligations, all kinds of things are here. How they recognize revenue. What we'll get to is the actual financial statements themselves, because that's what you need to do the ratio analysis. So here we go. So when you find the report of accountants, that's their audit report. They're audited by KPMG out of Seattle, Washington. And then after that, you'll find the financial statements. So we're almost there. There they are. So here is the balance sheet for Costco. So when I told you to compute for me some ratios, for example, the current ratio, which is current asset divided by current liabilities, here's an example of my total current assets, and I can find down here my total current liabilities, and I can easily do that ratio now for 17 and 16. Okay, so you want the last full fiscal year end. For Costco, it's the end of August. Okay, that's just when theirs happens to be. For whatever company you choose, it could be the end of December or some other time period. So you just want the last 12 consecutive months. So with that information, then you can go ahead and do your ratio analysis and then include that in your write-up and go from there. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions at all about how to find the data for your company, how to do some research on it, by all means ask me. I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction. But this should get you a good start. Start this anytime, even though it's not due until week 8. There's no reason you can't work on it now. You can start now. don't let me slow you down. So go ahead and work on this whenever you want. All the information you need is there to go for it. So let me know if you have questions.